left-hand side of the screen. Number 34 is up there ready to come, or 54. I mean, Randy White. Looked like Lynn Dickey was looking at Randy White, went to pick the ball up and just dropped it. A big third down play. There's a different type of chalkboard. We have them in the booth on the sideline. Got chalkboards all over.
Ernie Staudter talking with his linebacker, Guy Brown. Timmy Newsom and Rod Hill back deep for Dallas. Rod Fellows has a bad ankle. He will not return. Not much there. Penalty markers go flying out of the pack, however. Paul Kaufman was one of the Packers down there, and he's the one doing most of the arguing.
Against the Packers, and it looks like that unnecessary roughness or some late hit type of thing. It would be 15, 5, 10, 15.
That is the first Green Bay penalty all day. Obviously, there's a problem with the referee's mic.
We might be able to find it right here with our cameras. Let's see, it'll be in the left part of the frame here. Right there. See, he's down, and he gets speared with the helmet. That's what it is. Yeah, that's a good call. He can't have that.
No doubt about it. Cosby is the man in motion, and he is the man who makes the catch. Shook away from one tackler. That was Mike Douglas who came out there with him. He got about 6 yards. House and Billy Joe Dupree come off the Dallas bench to come into the game with the word for Danny White. Smerrick, Too Tall Jones, Randy White, Harvey Martin. Randy White looking at you, smiling. Cameras do amazing things. 2nd and 3 from the 36. Cosby again in motion. Handoff is to Tony Dorsett, and he's got some room. First down to the 45.
Yeah, we talked about this before, Pat, but the way really to run at this Packer defense is to run right at it, up the middle. They haven't had a lot of success with the sweeping type things, but watch this. When Dorsett can start one way, get those linebackers to flow, then get his big guards on those linebackers, he can pick up pretty good yardage in there.
He got 9 that time.
Let's watch Tom Rafferty in there on the nose tackle. That's the secret to the 3-man line. That center has to get some movement on the nose tackle.
White has time to Cosby. Fingertip catch by Duck Cosby. Mike Douglas knocked him out of bounds. A 15-yard gain. White has now hit 8 in a row.
Duck Cosby says, I have to make up for that one I dropped earlier in the end zone. Drop the easy ones, catch the hard ones. Let's watch it again. It'll be in the left-hand side of the screen here. We'll see White's looking out there, throws to Cosby. Now watch this catch. Oh, that reminds me of Summerall in 58.
It helps to be 6'6". Didn't remind me of that. Randy Scott made the stop. Dorsett, of course, a ball carrier.
Tom Landry, we see sending in a play with Billy Joe Dupree. You know, last week he sent in a play with Doug Donnelly, and he called him Golden. He had Golden Richards here 5 years ago. He said, Golden, go in and do this. And then after the game, he went up to him. He says, hey, good game, Golden.
Yeah, the amazing thing is that Donnelly did it.
Good thing.
2nd down, 7 at the 37. White on a draw play to Dorsett. Tried to shake one tackle. Didn't. It was a good one by Randy Scott. Dorsett again, slow getting up. Newsom says, I got you.
There's Golden coming in right now. There's 83. That's Golden Richard. Nope. It says Donnelly on his back.
Sure does.
I'm about to look at their backs sometime.
But Golden or Doug Donnelly or whoever he is can really run.
I'd like to run a reverse to him. He's Golden.
3rd down and 7 from the shotgun formation. time he goes to Dunley. And the ball is knocked away just at the last second. I almost called him golden. Maurice Harvey, the defender.
Maurice Harvey is one of those guys that hits like a linebacker. We drafted him at Oakland, and we just didn't have a place for him. But he's a good player. We see him man-to-man all the way on Doug Donnelly, and he got that hand in there right at the end.
If I were the Green Bay defense, I would beware Mr. White from this position on the field. Now he's going to kick. Looking for the sideline. Pumped it a little bit too much to the right. Out of bounds. Let's see where.
Oh, he's still walking. There, he stopped him.
14.
See how they measure that? The referee stands from where the punter punted. The side judge walks up the field until the referee tells him to stop. And that's the point they mark the ball.
With 9:47 left to play in the third quarter, it's Dallas 20, Green Bay 10.
In
9:47 left to play third quarter. Cowboys 20, Packers 10. Green Bay has the ball. Last time they had it, they went all the way down to the Cowboy 10 and then had to settle for the field goal by Stenerud. Draw play. Ivory. Outside the 20 to the 21. Guy Brown tripped him up.
Look at Bob Brunig there. He's talking. He took the wrong side. Larry McCarron, the center, fired out at Bob Brunig. Brunig jumped to the right side. The ball went to the left. Let's see if we can watch it. Now watch from the end zone. Now watch the center. He's going to fire out. 54. He fires out on Brunig. You see, he escapes to the right side. Ivory runs to the left side. Or just, you know, if you're watching it from the offensive run, you know what I mean.
Which is the key to the whole thing.
Key to the whole thing. Jump one side, go the other. Jump the other, go the other.
2nd and 2. Just over 9 minutes. Jefferson starts in the motion. Dickey retreats. Ellis makes a one-handed catch, and he's got two blockers in front of him. Emerson Walls is over. Ellis just runs over him and gets inside the Cowboy 40. White and Martin applied the pressure, but Dickey got rid of it.
This is the type of thing that the Packers have to do when you're getting this big rush. Look at the rush. Guy Brown coming from the outside. Randy White, throw it over too tall. Get it out. Great catch by Gary Ellis. One hand with that left hand right up the sideline. Everson Walls does a nice job of just holding on and staying alive.
You got 31 yards.
Let's watch the rush. Here comes Randy White. Big, strong, right up the middle. I got him. Guy Brown, I got him. No, none of us have him. There it goes.
There goes Ellis for Packer first down at the Cowboy 47. Jefferson in motion. Knocked away at the last minute. Intended for Lofton. It was Michael Downs who made the recovery.
Watch it here. We see Dennis Thurman starts. He's playing zone. He comes off in the short man. Michael Downs is going to come all the way across the field. What? Here he comes. Leap out. Get that hand out there. Knock the ball down.
Dickey had time.
Let's watch the blocking on too tall. They're keeping the tight end in to double team him. Ray Cook and Paul Kaufman. Good way to do it.
That's one of the only ways.
He draws a crowd.
It'll make it 2nd and 10, still at the 47-yard line in Dallas territory. They take a blitz. Not a fake. They're coming. And Dickey read it well. Downs takes Kaufman out of bounds, but they get the first down nevertheless. Good play by Dickey and Kaufman.
I'll tell you, this is an impressive Green Bay Packer offense this second half. Looks like, you know, you play the whole first half. You have Polaroid shots, all those things. They've really made some adjustments. They're beating the blitzes. See just a little quick out. Get the ball out there to them. Get them on man-to-man. But they're doing a lot of good things. They're getting, you know, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, screen pass against the big rush.
Crowd yelling for defense. Packers at the Dallas 35 now. Dickey had time, and again he has Kaufman, and Kaufman is down to the 15 before he is tripped up by Michael Downs. Down to the 16.
can just see the confidence level rise in this team. You see 3 wide receivers on the same side. Epps is coming in, cleaning out. Kaufman right in behind him. He chooses Kaufman. That's what you call an overload against the zone. 3 receivers on one side.
They had Hegman on Kaufman man-to-man. He couldn't find him. Kaufman's had a good day. And again, the crowd starts yelling for that defense. 1st and 10 from the 16. Hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe struggles for a yard. Brunig made the stop.
The Cowboys were in an all-out or maximum blitz, safety blitz. Mike Downs was up in there coming, and they ran right into their blitz.
Art Starr talking with his other quarterback. That's David Whitehurst. There's Bob Snelker again. Given a lot of credit for the success of the Packer offensive unit this year.
He sure is. Lynn Dickey talks about it. Lofton and Jefferson talk about it. Bob Snelker calls all the plays.
2nd down and 10. Again, they show blitz. Hoffman moves, now he gets set. No penalty. He's a tight end. Dickey, no place to go. Michael Downs right up the middle. 2nd sack on Dickey.
Let's watch that again. They had too mmany guys in the middle there. The Cowboys did, and they just can't pick them up. Watch that. See, there's man over the center, man over the guard, and then there's no one to pick up Michael Downs, and he comes straight up the middle on Dickey. There's a penalty, though.
I didn't see it. Delay of game.
They must have blown the whistle before the ball was snapped.
Now they mark off the penalty.
Game offense. The play stopped the clock. 2nd down.
See, when Kaufman moved, then Dickey had to give him time to set a second, and then the 30-second clock ran out on him.
And they save it down. It's a break for the Packers. It'll be 2nd and 15. Back at the 21 now. Split wide to the left, out of the picture. Dickey yells in that direction. Jefferson is inside of him. And the handoff is to Ivory. Ivory down to about the 16 again. Randy White on the bottom of the pile.
Bob Schnelker's going to call the play now. You see him. He has the glasses on there. Has that card. He's already called it.
I think he has. He sent in Del Rogers in place of Ivory. He probably took the play in. It'll be 3rd and 9. And the extra defensive backs are in the contest now. They're showing blitz. Dickey. Jefferson turned to the right. Dickey threw it to the left. We'll see Stenerud again.
Dickey was really upset. Looks like Jefferson is supposed to run a slant. Watch him here. He starts inside. Now watch, he stops and goes back to his right. Dickey threw to his inside. So Jefferson was running an out or a corner, and Dickey was throwing a slant.
33 yards out will be Stenerud's attempt. Jefferson looks back at things. Dexter Clinkscale, by the way, was a defender back there with Jefferson. Stenerud has it again, and it's Cowboys 20, Packers 13. 6 minutes, 19 seconds left to play 3rd quarter, and the Packers move closer. 7 down. Some great NCAA basketball coming your way next Saturday. Check your local listings. It's all on CBS, the home of the NCAA championship. West Virginia, Rutgers, Tulsa, Bradley, Idaho against South Carolina. Here's the kickoff by Stenerud. Rod Hill from the 3. Hill still on his feet. Stenerud chasing him. Hill still on his feet. Rod Hill being chased. Hill tripped up at the 10-yard line. Estes Hood caught him from behind.
It's ironic. This week they were on the Cowboys draft. Rod Hill was the #1 draft choice of the Cowboys this year. Watch, he just runs right through. Poor tackling down there. Poor tackle there. When he gets out in the open, he can move it, but Estes Hood made a big play with this tackle right there at the end. Rod Hill was the #1 draft choice. Really hasn't produced much this year, but that may be all you need.
He just put himself in the record book. Dorsett gets a couple inside the 8. Randy Scott made the hit.
Let's watch it from the end zone here. Here's what it looks like. You see they have a wedge up in front. The blockers start swinging to the right. They catch some of the Packers inside, and there's not really good convergence in tackling there. And another miss there. And then Estes Hood. Watch Estes Hood. He comes flying into your picture and makes the old flying tackle. Save the touchdown.
That return by Hill broke the record, which was held by a man who paid us a visit at halftime, Thomas Henderson. The old record was 48 yards. That was 89. Here is Dorsett again. Nothing. Maybe a couple off to the left side, but not much doing there. Ezra Johnson made the stop. There's Rod Hill. Wow, just when the Packers looked as if they were gaining that momentum and getting themselves back in shape, here comes an 89-yard kickoff return.
Look at the offense the Packers have had in the second half, 149 yards. They did good work at halftime.
3rd and goal at the 6. 4:55 left, 3rd quarter. Here's the spot for that rollout that John Madden was talking about earlier. Play pass fake. Oh, no play pass fake. Tony Hill was the intended receiver. It's incomplete, and there are no penalty markers. On comes Raphael Septien. Maurice Harvey was the defender.
I think anytime you see a defender go up with a pass receiver in the end zone, the home crowd always wants the interference. Let's watch it here. Danny White leaves the ball in the air a little too long. That was a great play by Maurice Harvey.
Sure was.
To not have contact, get your body turned around, and get that left hand up there.
Septien is 2 out of 2 today. One of them from 50 yards. This one's from 24. Says the Dallas Cowboys 23, the Packers 13, with 4:37 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Raphael Septien will kick off. He has just raised his NFL record to 14 straight field goals in playoff games. That's impressive. Septien kicks off. Bill Rogers at the 5. Goes down at the 18. Jeff Rohr made the stop. Next week, CBS Sports Saturday returns with great heavyweight boxing. I know you're into boxing, John. Harry Kotziak continues his quest for another shot at the title. He meets undefeated Pinklin Thomas, so be ringside with us next week on CBS on Sports Saturday.
I like to watch those heavyweights. They don't move as quickly as some of those little guys.
You can follow them.
You can follow where they throw when something happens.
Glenn Dickey brings his Packers out from the own 18-yard line. Gary Ellis is the lone setback, and they go with those 3 wide receivers again. This is Lewis who's in motion this time. Dickey fakes. Going for the bunch to Lofton, and he may have a bunch. Lofton makes the catch on a great throw. Dennis Thurman was back there with him.
I'll tell you, that was a great throw and a great catch, but before the great catch, James Lofton put some moves on Dennis Thurman. Watch him. He starts in, goes back out, gets Thurman turned, then comes back in, the 3rd move, and then watch the catch at the end. Stretching out, running through the ball. You know, so many receivers stop and let the ball go over their head, but you have to run through it, as James Lofton just did.
What a fine receiver he is. 4 caught. Gained 92 yards. That one was 50. Fumble.
like he ever had control of the ball. It looked like he may have stumbled in the carpet before he got to the line of scrimmage.
That's 4 turnovers for Green Bay, the second fumble.
Let's see if we can watch it here. He's the second man, number 40 in the I formation. He starts here. You see, as he got the ball, he looked like his feet weren't really under control, and the ball just popped right out.
And Mike Hagman came up with the recovery. So Dallas takes over at their own 31-yard line with 3:39 left in the third quarter. Listen to the crowd at Texas Stadium.
Let's watch the other angle. Now watch. His right arm looks like it hits the ball as Dickey tries to put it away. He never does get the handle on it. It slides right down his leg, and then he kicks it loose.
And here comes Hagman, number 58.
Yep. You see what Randy White did to it? He kicked it twice. Those linemen, they don't want the ball. Just kick it around. Let someone else jump on it.
First and 10, Cowboys, their own 32-yard line. Newsom and Dorsett, the two backs. And White goes to work. Gets Newsom. Newsom barrels out to the 40. 8-yard pickup. Anderson made the stop. Jimmy Newsom looks like in some time he's going to make himself heard from.
Well, remember what happened to him in training camp, Pat? He was a tailback playing behind Tony Dorsett. Tom Landry switched him to fullback, and he didn't like that. He left for a day or two and came back, and he realized that Tom Landry runs that football team, and whatever Tom says he's going to do, so he says he's happy.
Second and 1, 9-yard gain on the pass completion. This is Cosby in motion. This is Dorsett this time for the first down. Not much more. Mike Butler is the man who made the tackle.
Measurement there.
Yeah, I think we will. Dallas Cowboys first down plays. That's what they were looking for. That kind of balance. I know they'd most like to have a better average rushing.
Tom is one of the few coaches that still likes to run as much or more than he passes. And the way the game seems to be going, it's going away from that tendency.
Tom was saying, listen to the crowd again, and Tom was saying, when they started this last week, he was looking around for something to happen because he didn't know why they were cheering like this.
He was looking around the stadium and said, hey, they don't act like this at Texas Stadium.
What's going on?
Yeah. You know, they have some different people. They had 30,000 season ticket holders that didn't pick up their tickets. So they had 30,000 different people in here.
Dorsett swung out to the left, and White just throws it away. Nobody was open. He couldn't find anybody. Mike Douglas was out there. Tony Dorsett wisely didn't have to catch it.
Tom probably likes it better the other way. He can concentrate more when it's quiet.
You know, Butch Johnson was saying something. I'll get back into that in a minute. Here's Danny White. Ernie Staudter talking with his defensive players.
Looks like he's making up some more blitzes. He's talking to Dexter Clinkscale there and telling him to blitz. Ernie's an old defensive lineman. He likes to see those defensive backs rush.
Here's the screen pass coming. That's Newsom being chased. Randy Scott was the first man to hit him. He got about 6. Sorry to say, Butch Johnson brought up an interesting point. He said during the regular season, everybody's making different amounts of money. And some people are inclined to say, hey, he's making so much money, he's supposed to do it. He's supposed to excel. But in these games, everybody makes the same thing.
That's right. In this second game, the same thing is $10,000. Both teams received for this game $10,000 per player, win or lose.
But if you win, you get to play again. So it's 3rd and 5, 1.5 minutes left in quarter number 3. From the shotgun, here comes the Green Bay blitz. White steps up. He has Butch Johnson. He can't quite reach it. Estes Hood was back there with Butch, but he had a step or two.
Hey, there was no weak safety in there at all. Estes Hood not only had Butch Johnson man-to-man, he had him man-to-man all over the field. And talking about money, there it is. First round, both teams received $6,000. Today, $10,000. Next week, $18,000 win or lose. And in the Super Bowl, $36,000 to the winner, $18,000 to the loser. So the Super Bowl victor this year will make $72,000 per man. $70,000 per man, $52,000 for the loser.
Considerably more than last year or any year. Good kick by White this time. That one is up there. Fair catch signal for by Johnny Gray, and he takes it. 42-yard punt, no return. Packers will start to operate from their own 12-yard line with a minute 16 left in the third quarter. Wind is not a factor at all today. We'll be in Washington next week for the NFC Championship game on Saturday. Starts at 12 noon, the NFL Today.
And I bet the Redskins are starting to practice already. They're probably out there doing some exercising.
Joe Theismann's got his receivers and his backs out playing handball or something.
You know, they did practice today. The Redskins did practice. They're going to be one day up on either one of these teams. Washington just thinks they want Dallas. Oh, yeah? Well, what do you say in Washington to that? It'll be like a wrestling match here.
Right.
Oh, yeah? I want that guy.
Green Bay has had some very poor field position to start every drive in this half. Smerrick chases Dickey. It's a screen pass. Dickerson is out chasing Ellis. He's still on his feet. Facing some walls and Brunig, and he goes out of bounds. Dennis Thurman also gave him a little nudge, but they got sizable yardage.
You know, there's a guy, Gary Ellis, that I think is going to be a good fullback in this league someday. He was waived a couple years ago by the Rams. In fact, he was one of their last players cut. Green Bay picked him up, and he seems to be getting better every year. If he ever really gets that confidence and gets it unleashed, he'll be a good fullback.
There's the time left in the third quarter. He's a good pass receiver, Ellis. 2nd and 2 for Lynn Dickey and the Packers. 23-13 the trail. Eddie Lee Ivory does not get the first down. He's about a yard short. Bob Brunig led the defensive surge. Well, he may have gotten more than I thought he got.
Let's watch it from this lineman's angle here. You see those guards, tackles fall out, the off-guard pulls. Ivory runs right into his off-guard, gets that little push, and it was enough for the first down. But down there in those pits, a lot of pushing and pulling. Good stuff happening in there.
Bill Rogers goes in. Ivory comes out. First and 10 from their own 22 for the Packers. 40 seconds left to play third quarter. First and 10. Pitch out quickly. Rogers. Rogers whirls up to about the 30, 29 maybe.
Greg Cook, the right tackle, was leading on that play. He wanted Rogers to stay outside of him. Let's watch it again. Watch a right tackle. He'll start to pull. Now watch as he turns. Now he's there. Rogers is with him. Cook thinks he ought to stay outside. Rogers leaves his blocker and goes right into those tacklers. I think Cook is right. You know, if you're following a big guy on your team, stay with that guy.
Seems like a wise choice. That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Cowboys 23 to Packers 13. We now pause for a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Sharp Electronics Corporation. From sharp minds come sharp products. Holiday Inn Hotels. And by Toyota, to remind you that it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety.
One more quarter to go. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Texas Stadium. There is John Dutton. Has a deep bruise in his thigh and did not even dress, as you can see, in football clothes on him. Reverse coming to Lofton, and he has got some real estate. chased by Thurman, but he can't do anything about it. 71-yard touchdown end around by James Lofton, no penalties.
That is a backbreaker. That was a great call. James Lofton, a smile. Bart Starr said that's the one we need to get back. And that is, sometimes when you're behind, you have to make something happen. The Packers just did.
Lofton, of course, has that great speed. He ran that same play, you recall, in the last game before the strike against the Giants for a touchdown. Stinnerud for the extra point with Stackowitz holding. Rod Hill blocked it, and that changes the complexion of the whole thing.
That always comes back to haunt you when you either miss an extra point or have one blocked. Eventually it'll come back.
Rod Hill may have been maligned, but he's made his contribution today.
Let's watch it. He'll come from the outside here. Looked like he may have jumped a little early on that play. Watch him. He comes right outside that wing and gets his hand in the ball.
So we have still a lot of football remaining. 14:44 left. In fact, the Cowboys 23, Packers 19.
Let's watch the reverse again. That's a great play. Watch. He flips out there to Eddie Lee Ivory. He hands back to Lofton. He gets a good block there. Now watch 54, McCarron. He's going to get one for him right here. McCarron gets that block. Lofton cuts back against the grain, and then there's no one else there. I'll tell you, that was a great play and a great call at that time. That's what the Packers needed.
What a tremendous stride. Lofton really eats up some ground.
9-9. The battle between
Dallas 23, Green Bay 19. Still a lot of time left. Everybody thought it would be high scoring, and everybody was right. Stinnerud drives Rod Hill a yard deep in the end zone. He has 189-yard return already. That one gets back to the 20, and that's all. Mark Murphy on the stop.
Let's watch this again. We'll see it's a reverse. Now, Lynn Dickey, the quarterback, he flips to Ivory here, who hands to Jefferson coming back. But the big thing, watch Dickey right here. He makes a block right here that makes it all possible. The quarterback makes the block that springs Lofton. Watch it. The flip, the hand back. Now watch Dickey right there. He comes in. Now watch right there. The block to quarterback. Oh, nice. Layout, the old cross-body block. That sprung Lofton.
And Lofton doesn't need much.
Who said quarterbacks can't block?
It was Guy Brown that Dickey blocked. Here's White. To Tony Hill. To the 35, 36, maybe Mike McCoy made the stop. 16 yards on that pass completion from White to Tony Hill.
I'll tell you, all the Stanford people ought to be proud today of these two.
That's the truth.
We'll see Tony Hill catching passes, and James Lofton running reverses. There's the Dallas defense.
And catching passes.
They're all listening pretty good there to something. They're probably showing them what happened on that reverse, saying, don't let that happen again.
Tell you what, Packer punch is coming on. 14 minutes left to play. 23-19 Dallas. White again will throw if he has time. And does. Billy Joe Dupree was the receiver. First pass he's caught today. George Cumbie on the defense.
I wonder who the Redskins practiced against today. They practiced against Dallas or against the Packers?
I imagine it was a loosen up day.
Sometimes you have to have some reason to practice. You know, someone's going to say, "Hey, coach, what are we practicing for?"
Show you entirely different things on offense and defense, don't they? Cosby is the tight end to the left. Newsom and Dorsett are the running backs. Second down, 7. White again to put it up. Standing. All kinds of time for Tony Hill. He got it. To the 37, Mike Douglas.
is something that was great pass coverage by the Packers. Because Danny White has all kinds of time, but he can't find anyone open. Left, there's no one there. Run a little while, there's no one there. Then he waits, and he finally finds Tony Hill down here. Says, okay, I'll give it to you. Did you see how high he got in the air to catch that one?
24-yard gain. He is a super athlete. 6 catches for Hill for 93 yards today. He's out to the right this time. 1st and 10. White. Flea flicker, and White's going for the punch for Hill again. Just knocked away in the end zone at the last second by Mark Lee, who got his hand up.
That's one that didn't fool either Mike Lee or the free safety Maurice Harvey. They were both back there waiting for it. You know, the Redskins did that yesterday. They ran that same type of play. You see it didn't affect either one. Harvey has him inside, and Mark Lee had him outside, and Lee got his hand up.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 now from the 37.
Pulled inside out.
Hill comes out to the left this time. Pearson split out on the other side. Quiet day for Drew. White's trying to set up a screen, and does. Back across the field. They get one block. This is Newsom. Newsom to the 20. Newsom to the 17. Maurice Harvey made the stop. 21 yards for the Cowboys.
Tom Landry says, you want trick plays? I'll show you some trick plays. First we get the old double reverse, and we get this. Now what Danny White does on this, watch, he gets everything going to the right. He's going to sprint out here to the right. Pull the guard to the right, the tackle to the right. Make the defense all come to this side. Stop. Throw back out there to Newsom. He has one guy in front of him. That was his right tackle, Jim Cooper. Sneaked all the way out, and he was the single blocker.
Newsom now has caught 7 passes. 1st down, Dallas at the Green Bay 16. Dorsett to the 10 to the 9. Ezra Johnson tripped him up.
Bart Starr has to sit there and watch Tom Landry's tricks. Tom Landry watched a good one Bart Starr had.
Sure did. Seven yards for Dorsett. Make it 2nd and 3. The ball at the 9. Two tight end situation for the Cowboys. Dupree and Cosby. Dorsett goes back deep. Handoff is to Dorsett. He squirms down to about the 6, close to a 1st down. George Cumby tripped him up.
Two things the Cowboys are thinking of here. Of course, they didn't get the 1st down. 3rd down, the first thing they want to do is pick up the 1st down and then take some time off the clock and get their score. He sent the play in with Jay Saldy. Now, Jay Saldy usually lines up as a wing, comes in motion, and leads a running play up the middle somewhere. See if he does it this time.
What they want to do right now is hurry, because there are only 7 seconds left on the 30-second clock. They got it off. White, Cosby, touchdown. Halfway to Cosby before he ever saw it.
I know there was another trick play too. Cosby lined up on the left side, came all the way across the field. Let's see if we can see him here. See the fake to the left. Now see Cosby coming across there. Then Danny White bootlegs, finds him out there, gives it to Cosby. He knows he's going to score there because he's 6'6".
And 2:30. Septien with Toronto holding. Makes it Dallas 30. Green Bay 19. Still plenty of time left.
Let's see if we can draw that up on the chalkboard here. Get some stuff. We're going to see a run here, a fake here. White will fake to him here. Crosby comes in here from this side, then he sneaks through here and out. Danny White, after he fakes, comes out here and throws the ball from here. Let's see all those lines. Let's see if it makes any sense. Okay, snap it. Okay, there's the run fake. Now watch 84 Crosby. Sneak across by those linemen. No one sees him. No one sees him. White sees him. Gives him the ball right out there. Nice.
That looked like the menu at a Chinese restaurant.
It was just soup.
You don't have to put...
30-19, Dallas leads after the touchdown by Crosby. Crowd really just screaming now. Septien hits this one. Rodgers goes 6 yards deep in the end zone, and he won't try to bring this one out.
Nice drive, 80 yards and 8 plays. The big one was that screen pass, though. That was that trick play. You get a little roll to the right, throw it back across the grain. Big play.
White is now 21 out of 31 for 207 yards and a touchdown. The one to Crosby. And Dallas leads by 11. But there's still plenty of time left, and Green Bay has been really cooking. First and 10 from the 20. Lofton out wide to the right. Jefferson to the left. Hoffman goes in motion, and Dickey will throw on first down. For Eddie Lee Ivory. Penalty marker downfield. In the area where Lofton and Michael Downs were bouncing off each other, that's a 26-yard pass completion.
It's in the area of pass interference of some type. It's usually defensive pass interference, but we've seen some offensive pass interference. Here's what it is. That's what they were calling. Can't find his slide. There, he got it. Throw that baby down. I got you.
Walls is saying he ran into me, but he was interfering with Lofton's path that he had chosen. And we've seen that call before. There's Doug Crosby, the man who just scored that touchdown.
He's over there celebrating. Yep.
Again, and Dickey goes right back to throw. Lofton is cut down by Dennis Thurman, but nevertheless, he comes up with another catch, 26-yard gain.
He has a smile. He's really had a big day today. He's already had 2 touchdowns. Now watch, with his speed, Dennis Thurman has to respect that deep one. Did you see Thurman turn? He started to turn like Lofton was going on and up. Lofton just cut it off, went back to the sideline. That's what speed will do.
Lofton, of course, was a track man, a high jumper, and a long jumper, as well as being an outstanding receiver at Stanford. He's quite an athlete. This is Lewis trying to throw it, and nothing doing as here comes Randy White. Setting up the throw. Some more trick plays.
Some more trick plays. He was trying to throw deep to John Jefferson. The Cowboys weren't fooled. Everson Walls and Michael Downs had Jefferson double covered. See if we can see it. Now here he's coming back. He wants this pass has to be a lateral. See, because you can't have 2 forward passes. It is a lateral. He's looking for Jefferson. He was double teamed. He got rushed, and here comes Randy White. You see the double coverage? Here's why he couldn't throw it. Inside out on Jefferson. They didn't get fooled.
A lot of times when an inexperienced passer like that gets in a situation, he panics and throws it anyway.
Lucky he didn't.
3 wide receivers for the Packers now. Epps in. They're looking in that direction. Pass is almost picked off by Michael Downs. I think Epps must have run the wrong pattern.
That's the second time that happened on a play. Remember, in the end zone there, Jefferson ran out. Dickey threw in. On this play, Epps ran out, and Dickey threw in. Watch him. He's watching Epps all the way. And he's throwing it in. There's no Epps there. No guys there. No green guys. Epps was out on the sideline.
Dickey this half is 11 out of 16 for 234 yards. That's this half.
That's a great second half.
down and 14. Dickey going for the bunch to Jefferson. No. That was very close to being interference, the way they call them these days. But no flag.
Dennis Thurman's getting a lot of work today. Watch Jefferson. He's 83 there. It's in a foot race. See Thurman's coming from the outside. Dexter Clinkscale, 47 inside. He passes both of them, and the ball is just a little overthrown. You thought that was Pat? Could be, huh? Think so?
Could be.
What do you think?
I thought both of them touched him.
Yeah.
No flag, however. Stakowitz back to kick, and Rod Hill comes up to about his own 15. Stakowitz aiming for out of bounds. Gets it out of bounds inside the 10. Not bad. At about the 8. 35-yard punt, no return. I think you'd be safe in saying he's a Cowboys fan. 7:40 left to play, 30-19. The total offensive picture by half. Let's see how the complexion of things change. First down, 10 from the 8. Comes around the corner, gets out to about the 15 before he's pushed out of bounds by Mike McCoy.
Boy, Dick Nolan will be proud. Dick Nolan is the receiver coach of the Cowboys. On that play, Drew Pearson, number 88, comes in from the outside and gets a block that springs Dorsett. We're talking to Dick about this. Watch it from here. Watch him. 88 come in there. Boom, he gets a block right there. That springs Dorsett to the outside. Those receivers have to do everything. You know, we haven't heard a lot from Drew Pearson.
No, we haven't. They've done a good job on him.
They sure have. He's caught one pass all day, but so he said, if I'm not going to catch any passes, what the heck, I'll just block. Here's some pads.
Dorsett has 95 yards now as White drops the throw. Newsom, a diving catch, can't hang on. Incomplete. Douglas was the Green Bay defender. 7.5 minutes left to play. Newsom trots back. Dorsett will come in with a play from Landry.
It's the old double clutch. He gives him something, and then as he starts to go in, he gives him something else. And stop. I got it.
Dorsett with the message to White. And Bart Starr watching his team trail by 11 points now. 30-19 with 7.5 minutes left to play.
That extra point does loom big, doesn't it? If they had made that, it would be a 10-point thing, a touchdown and a field goal. Now the Packers have to be thinking in terms of 2 touchdowns with 7 minutes, 30 seconds to go.
Danny White looked out to the left, 3rd and 3. Throw ticked off. Mark Lee gets the interception and the Packer touchdown. It bounced out of the hands of Newsom and into the hands of Mark Lee. It's a touchdown, Green Bay, and it's not over yet.
Just said Green Bay needs 2. They get 1. There's 1. Now all they need is 1. Watch from here. Danny White's looking to Newsom. Gets him right there. Was a little inside of him. Popped off his right hand. The old tip drill. Tips it right into Mark Lee. There's no one between him and the end zone.
22-yard return for the touchdown. That's the first Dallas turnover of the day. Stinnerud will try for the extra point. 30-25 it is. And now it's 30-26. And that 4-point difference instead of the 3-point difference.
Let's watch the interception again. We see it to the outside. You see the tip was thrown inside. Newsom was spinning around, hit the ball. Mark Lee was right there.
So the Packers certainly aren't out of it by any means. 7:23 left to play, a lot of time, and it's 30-26 Dallas.
As we watch his pass here again, we'll see it was thrown behind Newsom. He really didn't have a chance. Watch this. See, he's going out to the left, and the ball is thrown behind. He was lucky to even get a hand on it. Of course, Mark Lee is still right there.
And so there's a 4-point difference. Cowboys 30, Packers 26. Doug Donnelly and Timmy Newsom are deep for Dallas, and Stenerud kicks it off. The direction of Donnelly. He hadn't done much of this before. Next week, CBS Sports Saturday returns with some great heavyweight boxing. Harry Coetzee and Spinkland Thomas. Check your local listings. That's one you should not miss here on CBS on Sports Saturday next week.
They're both ranked in the top 10. You know, how you get Harry out of G-E-R-R-I-E, I don't know, but that sounds good. It probably has something like that in it.
Green Bay, the turnover situation. Cosby shifts over on the flank to the left, and Dorsett moves back deep behind Newhouse. The pitch is back to Dorsett. No place for him to go. Fired up Green Bay defense gives Dorsett only a yard. Johnny Gray and Mike McCoy. And here comes the penalty flag.
Maybe Drew Pearson started blocking, and maybe he looked like he had a little extracurricular blocking on that sideline there. Maybe he likes that contact stuff. Drew's a good guy. He's been a heck of a receiver for the Dallas Cowboy team. Mr. Clutch.
We have offsetting personal fouls, unnecessary roughness, 88 offense, 22 defense. The play stands. It's second down. The play stands.
That's Mark Lee, 22. He was the guy that just scored the interception. 88. We just see him. That was Drew Pearson. Only caught one pass all day, so he's going to his physical game.
Now he has one punch to go with the one pass.
Let me at him, he's saying.
Second down and 10. Right back to throw. Green Bay in the blitz. Billy Joe Dupree has it. Stays on his feet. Might have gotten the first down. He did. Randy Scott hit Big Billy Joe.
I'll tell you, that showed Danny White's strength there. Mike Douglas would see him coming on a blitz. He makes a mistake. You never do. You never jump at a quarterback because he can always duck under you. Now watch right from the left. He's going to come in here. Now watch him. See, he jumped. He shouldn't have left his feet. Danny White just sidestepped that and was able to get to completion. A blitzing linebacker should always run through that quarterback.
And Dallas gets the first down. This is something, that graphic, that they cannot afford to do in this situation. First and 10 for the Cowboys at their own 37. 6:55 left to play. Draw play, Dorsett. Dorsett outside the 40 to the 43. Tripped up by Terry Jones. Richard Turner with help. There's the time remaining. Dorsett moves over 100 yards now. 101 and 24 carries.
You know, and the different thing about that 100 yards, they've all been tough for Tony Dorsett lately, but it was an awful lot of inside running today, more than I've ever seen him do.
A lot of 6 yards and 7 yards. Those tough ones.
He's doing it the hard way.
Second down 4. He got 6th in. Green Bay again in a blitz. White dodges, throws. Incomplete. Intended for Drew Pearson. Mike McCoy made the hit.
The fans are booing again. They wanted an interference, but watch the rush that he's getting. He gets rid of the ball here. Now watch McCoy gets inside, and he gets his left hand over Drew Pearson.
Good defensive play.
Let's watch it from this angle. See if he does the same thing. It should be his left arm. Watch him shoot his left arm in over his shoulder. There it is, and knock the ball out. That was a good play. You got to give him that. I mean, the secondary at least has to be able to do that.
Butch Johnson now in the game. Lined up in the slot to the right. 3rd and 4. White signals out to the right. Someone throws and has Doug Cosby at midfield. First down. That big target. One more time.
I'll tell tell you, when you're getting a rush and you have this type thing and you want to work the ball in the middle of the field, Doug Crosby's the ideal guy to do it. He was working man-to-man against John Anderson, number 59, a linebacker, brought him in, held him, and then boom, went to the outside. You see that little thing Tom Landry did? He took his fist and went like that, you know?
Yeah.
That's the most emotion I've seen from him. I was like, we got him now. Keep it going, guys. Keep it going.
Jay Salvy's in the game now. White looks out to the left, throws to Pearson, and he can throw. And does. For Tony Hill. Has it. Tony Hill. Remarkable catch. Mike McCoy back with him. But Hill spinning around makes the catch.
I'll tell you, these two teams are pulling everything out today. We've seen everything. Watch this from ground level. Now, this has to be a lateral, right? So it's a lateral out to Drew Pearson. Used to be a quarterback. Only caught one pass all day. He's becoming a blocker, a fighter, and he said, I'll throw it. Look at that move. He looked like a whirling dervish.
A full spinner by Tony Hill. It's first and goal, Dallas from the 1.
Tony Hill, what a day he's having.
7 passes caught for Hill. None bigger than that. 3 tight ends. They give to Newhouse. And Newhouse barrels in. What a show.
The stadium is rocking. We've seen it all today. Even John Dutton looks like he likes it. Little smile on his face. This is what it looks like.
4:24 left to play. 36-26 Cowboys, and Septien makes it 37-26. 74 yards, 7 plays. Show.
Let's watch this pass again. I love this one. Watch the long pass. Here we come. You see the pass back to Pearson. He just unloads it, everything he has. Now watch Tony Hill. He's looking to his right, swirls to his left, back to his right, and over the head catch. What more can you do?
I don't know.
He didn't do is score the touchdown. But here's the guy that does score the touchdown. Robert Newhouse just pounded in there. Stay low. Keep the feet right. That's it. Okay, touchdown.
4:24 still left to play. Both teams have all of their timeouts left. Annie White has completed 23 out of 36. There's the man who just scored the touchdown, Robert Newhouse.
I wonder what the Washington Redskins are thinking of this one.
I bet they're even excited.
Good. How do you defend all that stuff? Richie Pettibone up there saying, we got our hands full with either one of these. I like that kind of talk. Ready or not? Here we go. We'll be going up there, ready or not.
Oh, yeah. The crowd, the honorary captain for Dallas today, and they're doing a pretty good job. Rodgers retreats into the end zone, 6 yards deep, and now he comes out. Rodgers still on his feet. Now he goes down at about the 18. Danny Spradlin came over. Time remaining 4:14. Who's had a little rest, comes back in. We, of course, as we told you just a second ago, will be in Washington next Saturday for the NFC Championship game, either Dallas or Green Bay against the Redskins at 12 Eastern Time. It begins with the NFL today. Annie White and the other Cowboy passer sitting next to him, Drew Pearson.
What offense we've seen. The fans like offense. Green Bay has 422 yards. Dallas 381. We've seen 803 yards of offense. Whew.
Time of possession. Dallas has just about doubled it. They're going to have to hurry with this play. They do get it off in time. They have 1 second left. Dickey going to work. Goes to Epps, and it's knocked loose by Michael Downs. Rod Hill was also back there, but Downs' body collision is what knocked it loose.
You know, there's a guy who's been all over the field today, Downs. Watch him. It's for Philip Epps. Watch Downs come in there. He said, I have as much right to it as you do. And he was upset that he didn't intercept it. But Michael Downs has been all over the field. He's been knocking balls down. He's been blitzing, covering. He's having a big, big day in that Cowboys secondary.
He was not drafted high because they thought he was shy of contact. But that hasn't turned out to be the truth at all. Second down, 10. 4:08 left now as Dickey drops to throw and does. And misses Ellis. Everson Walls was out with Epps. I'm not sure who that was intended for.
Well, Lynn Dickey's upset, and he's given someone to Dickens.
Lynn Dickey, who in his career has had a separated shoulder, a broken hip, a knee operation. He has come back from a lot of adversity.
Looks like he's still mad. Watch his reaction to that last play. Looks like a coach.
I would say you were right.
He used to do that.
He was upset. 3rd and 10. Here comes Too Tall Jones after Dickey, and he gets him. They had a stunt going, and it worked perfectly.
They sure did. The Packers didn't pick up that stunt. Watch Too Tall. He starts from the outside. He's going to go inside. Spirit will work to the outside. No one picks him up. You know, we always talk about stunts. Let's see if we can draw one up here and show what it looks like. The tackle will work to the outside. Too Tall right here, loops and comes right up the middle. Watch him. You see that? The tackle will come outside. Too Tall goes inside, and they don't pick him up.
And we come back to Stackowitz's kick. This is Ron Hill back to the 43-yard line, and Hill cuts into Packer territory to the 45. 3:26 left to play. There is Ed Jones.
He was one of the last ones to leave the Cowboy practice field yesterday, and had a chance to talk to him. He said last week when he hurt his knee was the worst he's ever been hurt in his life, and it scared him more than anything.
He's too big to hurt.
He can't hurt. Well, remember when he boxed?
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah, he was down in the corner, and the guy was still hitting. He's a fan.
Don't forget 60 Minutes coming up on CBS following football. Except on the West Coast, where you'll see it, of course, in its regulation time. Dorsett goes back deep. From the Packer 45, they give to Dorsett, and he is hit immediately. He had no chance to go anywhere. John Anderson was there before he ever tucked the ball away almost.
I'll tell you, this Packer defense, and especially the linebackers, have really done a good job today. John Anderson, Randy Scott, George Cumbie, very active. Mike Douglas, all over the field.
Dorsett just went under 100 yards after he lost those 3 there. Or 4.
He's still looking for the ball that he ran 99 yards against Minnesota. In fact, he has a $200 reward after that ball.
It'll be 2nd and 14. Clock running now with 2:45 left to play, and they'll take their turn now. Pitches back to Dorsett. He got maybe 2, and there comes the penalty marker down. Face mask violation.
The Packer defense has done a good job of not letting Dorsett get to the outside. I mentioned that earlier before. They grab a face mask on this play. But most of his yards have come from the inside, but watch the face mask right there. You see it? Bring that head back. Yep, they got him.
There's Johnny Gray. And there's the penalty.
Oh, they're doing a 15-yarder. Wow. One of the first times I've ever seen a 15-yarder on a face mask. It can be 5 or 15.
Personal fouls, grasping and pulling on the face mask. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Grasping and pulling.
Grasping and pulling. If they just grasp, it's a 5-yard penalty. a grasp and a pull, which is much more serious or could be more dangerous, is then 15 yards.
1st and 10 for Dallas at the Green Bay 32. Timmy Newsome in the backfield with Dorsett. He leans a little, now gets set. And Dorsett against fumble. In the scramble. And the Packers come out of there with it. Ezra Johnson comes up with the football. And the Packers have another chance. 2.5 minutes left to play. 37-26 to score.
That's what Danny White was saying before the game. He said, this is what we can't afford to do. We can't have turnovers. Let's watch it again. It was just like the other fumble of Ivory. He didn't get control. He didn't get the handle on the ball. You know, that would have been interesting had not Ezra Johnson fallen down there, because they had a block on Danny White. I don't know who else was there.
Just the official.
Yeah, well, they don't tackle either, those officials, most of the time.
So Green Bay has it at their own 35, and they still have time with all those timeouts left. 2.5 minutes left to play. Flag is down. Dickey's going to go through it. No, he can't. Sack on Dickey by Randy White from behind, but Dallas, I believe, was offside.
And Dickey has to be injured on that one, Pat. He got bent ways that you don't normally bend.
He is in pain, no question about it. He did move in an odd way, didn't he?
Well, watch what happens to him. He gets his leg caught underneath, and then he gets bent over backward on it. Watch here. You see he has his leg there, and then watch. You see how he got bent over backwards? That's not a normal position.
Here's what we were talking about a minute ago on Lynn Dickey, the history of his injuries. Back in '72, when he was first picked, he hurt his hip. He missed 14 games. Separated his shoulder. Missed 4 games. Broke his leg. 77, 79. Missed all those games. David Whitehurst, his backup, is warming up over on the sideline. Dickey's still trying to bend back like he should be. Whitehurst is going in.
Dickey, when a player has an injury and there's a timeout, he has to come off for at least one play anyway. So we can watch that to see if he's just coming off for the one play or if the injury may be something serious or more serious.
He is checking things out right now. I think he's going to be back. Whitehurst on 1st and 5. Draw play to Ellis, who breaks into the Dallas secondary. Stays on his feet, gets the first down before Michael Downs, who led the Cowboys during the regular season in tackles, cuts him down. 18-yard pickup. They're going quickly, no huddle. They want another play before the 2-minute warning. Whitehurst speeds him out, and he better hurry. They get it off. Whitehurst has Smirek all over his back.
If we can see Don Smirek here, 60, he'll be coming straight up the middle. Harvey Martin coming from the outside. There's Smirek right on him. Goes up too high, just rides him right down to the ground. Bulldog him.
That's the 2-minute warning as Smirek, starting for Dutton, gets the sack. A minute 59 left to play. 37-26. Dallas leading Green Bay. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Lynn Dickey is back in the game. Second and 15. All the timeouts left. 3 for each team. Dickey gives draw play to Ellis. Ellis doesn't get much. Now they may have to use one of those timeouts as Anthony Dickerson read it well.
Boy, I can't figure that play out, Pat. They have 2 minutes to go. They need 2 scores, 2 touchdowns. They have to be thinking in terms of scoring twice, and a draw play doesn't seem like a good call.
Here's Dickey back to throw. Jefferson comes up with the catch. Jefferson hurries back. He is inside the 20. 30-yard gain. mark it at the 16. Michael Downs again had to make the stop. And now Green Bay takes a timeout.
Now that one was a good play. I think that's what they have to do. Get the ball upfield. Get your one score, then work on the second one. Here's John Jefferson. He starts to the inside, back to the outside, back to the inside again on a post pattern. Lynn Dickey made a nice throw, just throwing it right in that hole of the zone.
And Dickey pays his visit to the sideline. 1.5 minutes left to play now. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. The book on Dickey is a good one.
See where it says TDs? He only has one there. He needs a couple more, and he needs them quickly.
First time they've met in the playoffs, these two teams, since Bart Starr was the Green Bay quarterback, and they beat the Cowboys on the last play of the game. And weather so cold, I couldn't believe it, and I'm sure a lot of people who were there still can't believe it.
You see that quarterback sneak that was in, you know, they always talk about Jerry Kramer and the block on Jethro Pugh. The center, Ken Bauman, had a lot to do with that block.
He sure did. Green Bay with 2 timeouts remaining now. 37-26 to score. Dickey back to throw. Looks down the middle to Jefferson. Throws outside to Ellis, incomplete. Anthony Dickerson out there with it.
I don't know if I'd be running draw plays and throwing the ball to the back and the sideline. They have to get the ball in the end zone because 1 minute, 26 seconds left. You think in terms of 2 touchdowns. You have to get one and go to work in the second one. You can't waste all your time getting the first one.
Dickey has got 327 yards, I mentioned. That's a new playoff record against the Dallas defense. More than anybody's ever gotten before. Jefferson swings in motion and now cuts upfield. And Dickey throws to Kaufman down at the 11-yard line, and he is popped. But once again, you might as well put that thing in the end zone. Kaufman is hurt.
I'll tell you, he took that shot right there in an area where you don't have any protection. You see it's above the hip pads and below the shoulder pads.
And the Packers use another timeout.
Let's watch Paul Kaufman here. He's the tight end. He'll be coming across. Now watch as he catches that ball, the shot that he takes right in that area, again, above the hip and below the shoulder pad.
That was Kaufman's 5th catch of the day. And he seems to be shaking it off. At the 11-yard line, 3rd and 5, 1 minute, 4 seconds left to play. Cowboys leading by 11. Packers have to be thinking touchdown and then onside kick and then hope.
And then get another touchdown.
They got to have a touchdown. They missed that extra point.
Of course, that always comes back to haunt you. But the other thing is, we said before, they can't waste all their time getting the first touchdown so that they don't have any time left to get the second touchdown.
(37-26). The winner goes to Washington to play the championship game next Saturday at RFK. Then Dickey comes back in. Once again, a reminder that 60 Minutes will be seen following football, except on the West Coast, where you will see it at its regular time. Redskins, I'm sure, are looking on. They said they wanted Dallas. It looks like they might get him.
I think they're just happy to be there themselves. They'll take anyone.
I'm sure. Dickey picked off in the end zone by Dennis Thurman, his 3rd interception of the day. He brings it back to the 11-yard line. Paul Kaufman was the intended receiver, and indeed they will get Dallas. Dennis Thurman's 3rd interception of the day.
Dennis said he wanted that one. You see that ball? He's not going to have to put out that $200. for it. He's keeping that one himself. Let's watch if we see the motion. It brings Thurman in, 32. Dickey's looking over. Thurman gets up in the air, catches the ball. He's starting to think that he won't take it out. Then he says, what the heck? It's a playoff. Let's bring her on out.
That ties another playoff record for Cowboys. The record held by Charlie Waters against the Bears when he got 3. Thurman has 3.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
56 seconds left to play. Packers down to 1 timeout. We'll say we'll use, I'm sure, right now. And they do.
Tom looks bored. I'll tell you, Bart Starr has done a great job with that organization and that team this year, bringing them this far, getting in a shootout with the Cowboys, 31-26. I'll tell you, they really threw everything at each other.
Executive producer Terry O'Neill, that is of the NFL on CBS. Senior producer Charles Milton. Today's game produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate producer is Joan Petrano. And thank you to all the rest of you. We want Washington, is what they say here. Washington, they say, we want Dallas. They're both going to get their wish. Now the Packers are out of timeout. The clock continues. Landry, Al Lavin standing behind him.
James Lofton.
Wasn't his fault.
Well, what more can you do?
That's got to be the longest half minute, or one of the longest ones he'll go through. Crowd will let you know how they feel about it.
The crowd's going to go into the locker room after the game. You know, their honorary captain, they may want to go in with Tom Landry for the interview.
What if they can afford 65,000 game balls? Next, the NFC Championship will be Dallas against Washington. And there's no need for any incentive because they really don't care for each other. Herb Cross will be around and have some guests down on the sideline from the winning team. While I have a chance, and you look at Danny White and Tom Landry, gives me a chance to say thank you and say so long for John Madden and for myself, Pat Summerall. So that's the final score as we get closer to Super Bowl time. Dallas 37, Green Bay 26. Right now, let's send you to Brent Musburger in New York.
Hi, Pat and John, thank you. Dallas, Washington, memories of Clint Longley and George Allen. And Irv Cross will be in that locker room, but I want to remind everybody that coming up next, 60 Minutes. And tonight, it headlines a story that looks at what happened after a New Orleans policeman was killed. That is a story that a federal judge tried to keep off the air. A very important story. That is coming up next, except out on the West Coast. And we will have those interviews with Irv Cross inside the Dallas Cowboys locker room. And also, we'll take you back and show you what has transpired throughout the National Football League on this weekend. And we will continue with the NFL Today in just a moment.
Big concert and more on an RCA video disc player tonight. Already there are over 500 great shows available, all with an incredible picture, some in stereo. And best of all, if you buy a player now, your RCA will give you 2 of...
The Dallas Cowboys again playing for the NFC Championship and the right to go back to a Super Bowl. And let's go down now to Irv Cross at Texas Stadium. Irv?
Brent, of course, the happiest man in town, Coach Tom Landry. Coach, I guess they're never easy, are they?
No, they really aren't, Irv. I think that was a great football game, boy. Anybody saw that game enjoyed it, because I never saw so many big plays.
Well, I know prior to the game, you expected a lot of scoring. You know, you have a good defense. The Packers came in with a reasonably good defense. Why did you expect so much ball movement?
Well, I just felt like that both sides could move the ball. We know with their receivers, they had to score, you know, and we felt like we could score too, even though two good defenses were out there. And it was a game where there were a lot of errors, but it was really an exciting ball game.
Jefferson and Lofton on the outside, two great wide receivers. Your plan coming in the game to stop them, Coach?
Yeah, we tried to stop them. We doubled them up a lot in the first half, and then they started getting away on the runs a little bit on us. And then the second half, they came out and did a great job. They changed the tempo of the game. They came in with their wide receivers in there, and we didn't adjust quick enough, I didn't think, to our 4-0 defense. And when we did, then we slowed them down a little bit.
Coach, congratulations on another big win.
Appreciate it.
We got a rookie, #1 draft choice from Kentucky State, Rod Hill, who broke off a kick return for a big play to get your club started. Rod, I guess it's one of the many big plays you expect to make here, eh?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a #1 draft pick, and that's my job to play football, and I'm glad I got a chance to do it this playoff game.
Do you feel pressure as a #1 draft choice coming to the Dallas Cowboys? Do you expect to step in that lineup and perform right away?
Well, you know, before the draft, I talked to the Cowboys, and I knew what my situation would be once I got it, and that was to learn, you know, take it by, you know, ear. And I did that, and, you know, fortunately, it came down to my turn to play, and I did the job.
Rod, tell me about the big kickoff return.
Well, you know, on the first kickoff, I noticed there was an opening, but I kind of slipped to the left, so I said, I'm going to take this one straight to the right. And that's what I did. I had good blocking, and, you know, fortunately, I got down to the 9-yard line. I think the guy dived and got me, but I helped us out.
All right, congratulations,
Can I say hello to my mother?
Go ahead.
Hello, my grandma.
All right, let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Irv, thank you. You have to be happy for that young man, because a week ago against Tampa Bay, he was burned, taken out of the lineup. His replacement of the nickel, Monty Hunter, ran in that big interception on Doug Williams. We're going to take a look at the weekend, set the stage around the NFL when we continue on the NFL Today on CBS in just a moment. 60 Minutes is coming up next here on CBS. And, of course, yesterday, if you were watching the network, you heard Joe Theismann say, "We want the Dallas Cowboys." Well, Joe, here they come. Danny White will be the Cowboy quarterback, and let's go back quickly to her.
Brent, of course, Danny didn't hear what you said about Theismann's remark saying that the Redskins said, "We want the Cowboys."
Well, I kind of gathered that from watching it on TV yesterday. I think their fans want us as bad as the players do, but it's going to be a great game. I'm just happy we're going to be in it.
Danny, the big story with you is your thumb, your passing hand. Did you have any problem with it? It looks swollen to me. It's sore. It's sore. Did you have any problem?
It's a little tender. It was not a factor in the game today as it was last week. You know, a good week of treatment helped a lot. So, you know, right now I don't feel anything. A victory does wonders for your own injuries.
All right. Congratulations, Danny. Dennis Thurman, the man on the defensive side of the ball, picked off 3 interceptions. And, of course, the last one, of course, was a clincher, Dennis.
Well, you know, if they had scored there, I'm sure they would have tried an onside kick, and it would have made for a difficult
There it is right there. Why don't you tell me about it?
Well, we were in a blitz, and I had John Jefferson man-to-man, and Dickey just threw the ball up there, and I was in the right place at the right time.
The Cowboys were in man-to-man coverage quite a bit today. You know, when you go against 2 great wide receivers like Jefferson and Lofton, aren't you really putting yourself at risk back there in the secondary?
Well, not really. We face great wide receivers every week, and our job is to go back there and cover them. They made some plays today, and we made some plays today, so we're on to Washington now. Their fans were asking for us, and we'll show up.
All right. Washington next week. Of course, you had to beat this club to get there. You weren't looking past the